As Alice strolled through her evening walk, she spotted a small dog perched by the roadside. Worried for its well-being nudged her closer, and she moved carefully to avoid startling it. As she neared, she saw the dog trembling and clearly distressed. Then, she noticed what was concealed beneath it. Alice approached the shivering puppy carefully, making sure not to scare it away. Despite being clearly frightened, the puppy stayed in place. It was lying in a big bowl, which seemed to be full of trash. As Alice got closer, she noticed something shiny catching the sunlight under the bowl. She brushed away some leaves and discovered a set of brand new keys with a tag covered in numbers. Alice recognized the numbers immediately. She wasn't sure what to do with the puppy. She couldn't leave it alone in her car if she went to check out the location. But as soon as she picked up the keys, the puppy seemed to lose interest in the bowl and focused on her. Perhaps the keys smelled like its owner. It looked like the puppy would follow her, making the decision easier. Without a leash, Alice started walking into the forest, and the puppy followed. They walked for an hour, with no clear path and the sun starting to set. Alice's curiosity drove her on, and about 15 minutes later, the dense trees began to clear. To her surprise, she found a small house in the center of a clearing. Alice gazed in awe at the house. Neither her map nor Google Maps had hinted at its existence. The puppy, wagging its tail, looked up at Alice and then back at the house, as if confirming they had reached an important destination. As Alice stepped closer, she felt the weight of untold stories. The house, with its peeling paint and shuttered windows, whispered echoes of the past. Alice approached the front door with the key in hand, but her attempts to unlock it were in vain. She circled the house, her determination unwavering. On the side of the house, Alice discovered a small broken window. With a deep breath, she hoisted herself up and cautiously entered the house. Inside, it was like a time capsule. Dust lay thick on furniture that seemed frozen in a bygone era. The puppy, now inside, became Alice's guide, confidently trotting ahead and leading her through the dimly lit corridors. Its familiarity with the house was uncanny, navigating turns and rooms with ease. Alice followed, her curiosity mounting. The house was a museum of memories, each artifact whispering tales of those who once called this place home. As the forest darkened, Alice realized returning to her car was no longer safe. The house, eerie yet sheltering, seemed her only option. Eventually, exhaustion overcame Alice, and she drifted into sleep. As the first rays of sunlight filtered through the windows, Alice's resolve strengthened. She decided to delve deeper into the house's mysteries. In the dim light of the basement, Alice stumbled upon an unexpected discovery. A hatch embedded in the floor, covered in dust and partially hidden under an old rug. Alice remembered the key she had found earlier. With a mix of excitement and apprehension, she retrieved it from her pocket, wondering if it might fit the lock. As she inserted the key into the padlock, her heart raced. The key turned with a satisfying click, and the padlock fell open. Alice hesitantly lifted the hatch, revealing a dark, descending tunnel. The air from below was cool and stale, hinting at long-sealed secrets. Standing at the edge of the open hatch, Alice felt a wave of uncertainty. She looked down into the darkness and then at the puppy beside her, seeking courage. Gripping the flashlight tightly, she took a deep breath and began her descent. To Alice's surprise, the puppy bounded ahead with unexpected enthusiasm. If the puppy, so small and vulnerable, could venture forth so bravely, then so could she. Alice and the puppy moved cautiously through the tunnel. With each step, Alice felt further removed from the world she knew above. She couldn't help but wonder about the origins of this hidden passage and its purpose. What lay at the end of this cryptic tunnel? She hoped the answer was just a few steps further in the enveloping darkness. Alice pressed on, her footsteps echoing in the tunnel's vast emptiness. Suddenly, she noticed a faint glimmer ahead, a subtle change in the air, and a distant light that hinted the tunnel might finally be leading somewhere. The silence of the tunnel was profound, almost tangible. After what seemed like an eternity, a stairway materialized in the beam of Alice's flashlight. Relief washed over her as the endless tunnel finally gave way to this new path. The staircase, made from the same stone as the tunnel, spiraled upwards, promising an end to the subterranean journey. Alice ascended, her flashlight's beam dancing on the stone walls. At the top, a door awaited, old yet sturdy. The puppy paused, tail wagging, as if urging Alice to hurry and uncover what lay beyond. At the stairway's end, Alice faced the door. She reached for the key, its significance now more profound than ever. It slid into the lock with almost ceremonial precision. As she turned it, she heard the click of the mechanism, a sound that signified crossing a threshold. Slowly, Alice pushed the door open and stepped into a world vastly different from the one below. She found herself in a room lavish in its decor, adorned with rich tapestries and gleaming furniture. This new world was a realm of opulence. The air was fresh, filled with the scent of polished wood and faint perfume. The luxury surrounding her was a vivid contrast to the forest and the hidden tunnel she had traversed. How could such contrasting worlds coexist so closely yet remain so hidden from one another? In the luxurious living room, Alice's exploration was interrupted by the sight of an old man. He sat calmly, his eyes reflecting a lifetime of stories. Surprised but not threatened, he regarded Alice with a curious, non-hostile gaze. The puppy, recognizing the man, wagged its tail and approached him. Alice stood still, taken aback by this unexpected human presence. He spoke with a gentle tone, his words laced with a hint of nostalgia and mystery. Alice listened intently, trying to decipher the connection between this man and the luxurious surroundings that starkly contrasted with the decrepit house she had left behind. Alice cautiously began a conversation with the man, her questions laced with curiosity and caution. The man listened, his expression one of understanding and patience. The old man shared how the tunnel came to be. It was created out of his fear, a secret escape route from his grand house to a hidden forest home. His fear once consumed him, prompting him to build this hidden path for safety, which also became a bridge to an unforeseen future. His voice softened as he talked about the puppy, his loyal companion who often accompanied him through the forest via the tunnel. One day, the puppy went missing, and despite days of searching, it never returned. The puppy was more than a pet. It was a cherished friend and a part of his soul. The old man spoke of his longing nights and fruitless searches. He hoped the key would somehow help reunite him with his beloved puppy. A symbol of hope amid his despair, his story was filled with deep sadness and loss. The puppy represented a time of peace and joy now gone. When the old man finally saw his lost puppy, his eyes lit up with joy. He turned to Alice, deeply grateful. "Thank you," he said sincerely. "Your courage has brought my lost companion home." Alice felt a warm sense of fulfillment, knowing her journey had restored a precious bond. To show his gratitude, the man gave Alice a reward, a small, intricately carved box. Inside was a beautiful antique necklace, its stones shimmering with old-world charm. It was a generous token of appreciation for her bravery and kindness. As Alice prepared to leave, she reflected on her extraordinary journey. What began as a simple walk turned into an adventure filled with mystery, discovery, and connection. The forest now felt less daunting as she made her way back home, enriched by the unexpected twists of her journey.